Well, thanks to our virtual view technology, I'm standing in Boston Common. Enjoy the sunshine before all the snow comes in. We have light rain. And by the way, Boston has had no snow all month, and then that rain is going to change to snow thanks to Winter Storm Lorraine bringing gusty winds along with that. And I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning, I think the commute is going to be exceptionally rough. Conditions improve through the day, but they kind of last through the afternoon hours. So I think overall, it's going to be tough around Boston and points south basically of 90, where we're going to see those double-digit snowfalls. And you know, there's someone that's always an overachiever. And one of the reasons that we start off as rain is because of the temperatures. It's too warm for the snow. So we miss out on a couple hours of that snow. Our totals would be a little bit higher. But 6 a.m., we're kind of in the rain, maybe a little mix here. And then the snow is going to be coming in. But if you look west of there, the rest of the state is seeing snow. It goes on until our lunchtime, and then as we head into the evening hours, this will be gone. Now, if we look south of that, we do have double-digit totals, perhaps in Long Island, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Jersey, Pennsylvania. A lot of us will see that double-digit snowfall. It's going to be wet, heavy snow. They call that heart attack snow when you're trying to shovel it. Maybe do a little warm-up before you go out and shovel. We transition over to snow as we head into tomorrow morning, and look at our temperatures. They stay essentially at or just above freezing for us. And so that means that things could be very, very wet and a little bit tricky with our accumulations, because you'll get that rain snow mix and then fully switch over there. Notice that we do have 5-6 inches Scranton, and then south of that is where you do have some of those heavier totals. And our temperatures definitely above freezing for us, and they don't get much colder. We actually stay at average when we have our cool off, if you will, and then it goes out as we head into the afternoon hours. So hopefully the kids are still going to school in this, and then they can play outside and get all the energy out. After that, Philadelphia is kind of a weak sauce for us here, but a lot of these places, Molly, along the I-95 corridor are 1 to nearly 2 feet below average on snowfall. Philly's not going to chip away at that at much. We'll just get a little bit.
Just a little bit for you in Philly.
That it could. Now let's take a look ahead in the T-Mobile coast-to-coast forecast and give you a peek at temperatures in your area as you plan to travel for the weekend. Because a lot of people will be doing a little traveling here. Traveling back, of course, today from Vegas. I'm assuming things are going to be quite intense at the airport. We do have showers in the southeast. This is our big storm that makes its way into the northeast tomorrow. After that, we get a bit of a break. We do still have storms, and you can see them stretching from the plains to the west, but it's not like we have this massive storm coming through. A little bit of rain and snow around the Great Lakes. Still action into the west for us. Friday, it's the center of the country, but overall, notice the temperatures too. No huge Arctic outbreak all the way into our Saturday. A lot of us still just going back to average or even slightly. Yeah, and this has started all the way on the west coast, made its way through the Rockies into the Central Plains, where it did drop some decent snow for us. Look at these totals, anywhere from Oklahoma to Texas, also into Colorado and New Mexico, anywhere from 6 to 8 to 14 inches of snow there into the panhandle of Texas. We do have advisories that spread through the Ohio River Valley, but I got to tell you, overall, there's going to be a lot of rain with that. This is the upper level entity that's spinning around, cold pocket aloft, better chance to get some of that cold air since our surface temperatures are so mild and so warm. But you can even see that counterclockwise flow of this system, and it is giving us some bad road conditions, especially into southwestern portions of Missouri. That's where it is the worst of it. Notice our totals here, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. Again, not super heavy as it moves east, though it will get a lot bigger as it heads into the northeast. But for its trek across the Show Me State, moving into spots in Tennessee, it's going to be on the lighter side with that snow, and it moves through very fast, which doesn't give it a lot of time to put a lot of snow on the ground. So overall, Molly, with the warmer temperatures and the quick movement of it, we are talking, you know, more in that 1 to 3 type inch range.
Wet snow, just like what we're going to see in the Northeast.
Now, what a game last night. Congratulations to the Chiefs there. Welcome into Pattern, the first climate change talk show. I'm Steph Abrams.
And I am Jordan Steele. Okay, we are going backwards when it comes to our air quality. That's not what you want to hear. Our facts are facts today focus on what's going on. There's a report out today from the First Street Foundation, and it says in the year 2054, we are likely to have the same poor air quality. There is a new report out. It's called atrocious air. Kind of on the same topic, right? That really sums this all up. It highlights the fact that you don't have to live anywhere near where fires burn to actually feel the negative impacts.
And climate specialist Carl Parker joins us now with a closer look at this. Carl, thanks for being with us. You know, the big headline here is that for the first time in decades, our air quality in the U.S. is actually getting worse than it is getting better.
Yeah, you know, the fight against air pollution in this country
It's the
was
perfect day to just stay home if you have that option.
Thankfully, it's a quick hitter, though, is in and out fairly quickly. Felicia, thank you.
Well, as we move on, we can see consequences of our warming climate, more wildfires, rapidly intensifying hurricanes, we talk flooding, and I know it can be easy to look at these events and feel like there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, to offer some concrete guidance, we invited David Pogue to join us. He is the author of the book, How to Prepare for Climate Change, a Practical Guide to Surviving the Chaos. And I love that you put it like that because it really does feel like chaos at times. What are some of the signs that we're living in this chaos? I can feel it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, most of the attention we've heard about actions you can take. One cow belches and farts out 12 gallons of methane an hour.
Yeah.
And methane is, yeah, exactly. Methane is 80 times worse than carbon dioxide for the first 100 years. So, yeah, and cows, here's one that will blow your minds. The cattle grazing lands occupy 1/3 of the Earth's non-frozen surface.
What?
That is, yes, 1/3 of all our land we have dedicated to grazing land for cattle to feed our appetites for red meat. That is why they were burning the rainforest down in Brazil to turn it into cattle grazing land.
I did not realize that.
Anything you can do, even if it goes from 4 nights a week to 1 night a week of red meat, you're doing a huge thing. But the other part of the diet thing, the adaptation part of it is, you should.
Now, what is the most little surprising nugget of advice that you do include?
I mean, you've already given us so many. I'm like, I can't imagine there's
Is there one
more,
that stands out to you that would also stand out to us?
Well, I think, I mean, we're going from exploding roofs and cow farts.
Right.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
Nothing's off the table here.
But honestly, the biggest thing you can do for adaptation. So many Americans are just sitting ducks in this era, flooding, and you don't have to live on the coasts to be in a flooding hazard. Of the 10 most flooded, as weather people well know, in this era, the ground gets hard and dry from drought. Then you get a big rain, water has nowhere to go. It just runs down the dry ground into your home.
David Pogue, thank you so much. Love your personality. I love your OMG.
You made something that could be
tough, yeah.
Really entertaining and engaging, and actually gave us a lot of good takeaways. So, David Pogue, we really appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
Oh, man. I did not know any of that. The car backing up on the thing. I talked about reinforcement. That makes sense.
That's a good one. Yeah, the car. We kind of talked about that for hurricanes.
What did he say? 3/4 of non-frozen land? 1/3 of non-frozen land is for cattle.
Grazing.
I've never heard that stat before.
Well, and as we know, methane, is more potent just for that first limited time opposed to CO2. But a lot more to talk about here on America's Morning Headquarters.
Yeah, and Barbie said it. We're living in a plastic world.
We're on Pattern, not America's Morning Headquarters.
I didn't even recognize that. Now, I know we live in a plastic world. Might be hard to swallow. Welcome back, everybody. So our planet has a big source of untapped energy. We're talking hot sand.
Say what? Pattern climate science producer Ali Van Fleet shows us how a so-called sand battery can help power cities with clean energy. How cool. What if we told...
Can't wait to hear the outcome, because who doesn't love Plinko?
Well, as I say...
Who doesn't love Plinko?
I love Price is Right. And I love when they play the game, because you really have no idea. It can start here and all of a sudden ends up like in the middle.
But I had no idea you could do it with sand, which then heats it up.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is really cool. For more stories like this, check out Pattern.
All right, let's get a weather update from Felicia. More rainfall to talk about.
So much rain. We've got some flooding. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the severe, though, because we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, including Tallahassee. So Montgomery up through Atlanta all the way up into Charlotte. So that rain is not coming to an end anytime soon. Guys, it's just a walloping of problems with this. And then, of course, we're looking out for the winter side tomorrow. I'll have more on that coming up.
Busy. Felicia, thank you. Well, we all know that plastic packaging can leach into our foods.
Yes, but...
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're going to need a lot more as we travel space more often.
A lot more astronauts in line here.
Okay, if you are what you eat, we may be in big trouble.
Yeah, a new test found high levels of plastic chemicals in some food products that may surprise you. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has the details. I'm always surprised at some of the limits that aren't set on things.
Well,
you know,
and
like,
the fact that we kind of have to move limits. It's like, here's the limit now.
Yeah.
And then we keep getting these studies like, oh, now we got to move the limit up because there's more of it that we keep finding.
Yeah, there are. So.
I mean, unfortunately, you can't get rid of plastic. Like, that's what we're trying to,
and
try to change.
how small it is, how are you going to pull it out? I mean, it's overwhelming to me.
It is overwhelming.
This one is one of the more overwhelming ones for me.
All right, let's go ahead and get a weather update from Felicia, and she has been kind of keeping us posted on the severe side, but now you go back to the winter side, and those are some big numbers.
We got to talk about it because speaking of overwhelming, some of us is the fact that it's moving so fast but still letting the snow add up is that it's going to be heavily snowing.
All right.
The best kind of snow to get.
Yeah.
Felicia, thank you.
Guys.
We got Woo TV coming up after this, too, breaking down more of the winter side and the severe side.